Hey everyone, Dan here. Before we get into it, if you enjoy these videos, please hit the like and subscribe button. And keep in mind that these are my own thoughts, opinions, and ideas. These are not meant to be, nor should you take them as investment or trading advice in any way, shape, or form. Do your own due diligence, put in the work for yourself, and make your decisions based on that. Enjoy. All right, folks, here we are on Tuesday, February 20th. We're going to take a look at Nikola today. So with earnings coming up, I thought we would come in and take a look, see where things might go, if it booms or busts. I want to start this video off with a couple of things. One, full disclosure, I did take some positions, some long positions in Nikola today. They could totally go against me. They don't mean anything other than I just want to say that since I'm doing a video on it, it's not changing the way that I would do the video. But I do just want to let that be known. And then also, just because we're going to talk about all of the many levels and trend lines that could sort of take shape if it flies or if it dies, it could go sideways. You know, this could certainly just pan out to be a relatively sideways movement. Okay, so on the chart, we're going to do chart, options, and then Thinkorswim study. Webull chart, options, and then Thinkorswim study. So sort of settling along this like 70-cent level that we've had on the chart for a while. It broke this downtrend resistance, made a valiant effort to escape, sort of filled this gap, and then retraced way down further than that, all the way down to 58.25 there, and then has been trying to recoup and recover since then. Again, mostly going sideways into earnings. It might get some fluctuations here, trading period to trading period until the earnings report comes out itself, but sort of staying in this range. And volatile stocks like Nikola, it can look like it's moving sideways, but still, like today it was down, over 4%, and still it looks like it's sort of relatively sideways in this period of time. So it's just sort of the relevant relevant to this stock. It's sort of consolidating and mostly going sideways, but within that range, it can still have pretty big jumps and retracements. So in any case, if it does decide to scoot upward off of earnings, 77.05, 85.25, those are the nearest in resistance levels that I see, and then certainly that approach toward $1, 96, 97 cents, and then again, of course, that psychological, are we going to keep it over $1 if it gets there, right? So 105, 110, there's a bunch in here. So you can see those there. If it does get throttled and pulled back, pulled down further, like I said, this 70 level would be the first to give if that even holds going into earnings, and then 63, basically 62.75, and then 58.55, and then of course we have that low. It's a fraction of a penny to that level as well. So it could certainly get back down into just uncharted territory and not really know where it's going from there. Now I do want to mention on the option side of things, I sent out on X let's bring in both here. There's interesting activity on the open interest that you see here on the dollar calls for April 19th. That's a big number open interest wise. You see 122 versus the puts, which would be in the money already, over here at 23,000. Now that said, this 50-cent put has a really big open interest as well. So, sort of unusual on both fronts. I'm interested to see if any additional like large volume comes in ahead of earnings, or what that looks like, or even just after earnings. You see the volume here still continuing to climb, whereas the put volume on those 50 cents, getting kind of thin. Somebody had also mentioned that there's some leaps here that are kind of interesting in January. The $2 leaps, I think they were pointing out. But that said, there's also, again, on the put side of things, we have 13,000 in January 20. Oh, this is 2026, 2025. Yeah, this is what they were calling out, this 267,000 on the $2 strike. Some pretty big action here on both ends. But you know, some of these sort of stand out, especially if they are getting additional volume heading into earnings. That's sort of what I'm mostly going to look at, because like I said, you know, the first strike out of the money on both ends of the spectrum, you know, that open interest, they're pretty close into each other. So we'll see how that sort of rounds out as the days come, especially like I said, if this volume keeps getting put in and then is added to the open interest, more or less added to the open interest, we'll see what that sort of shakes out like as we get closer. Now, you see how wide this channel is here. This period of extreme volatility, right? When it pushed up to 371, all the way down from 52 all the way up to 371, and then has come back down since then. Yeah, so you know, in that sort of situation, channel gets super stretched, gives a ton of movement capacity to get into the channel and move through huge ranges and still be caught within the channel. Now, since then, channel has clearly started to condense, compress, and you know, it's getting into a really nice setup that I like. Just because I like the setup doesn't mean I know which way it's going to go. I feel like people hear what they want to hear a lot of times, and I say, it looks like a big move could be coming. This could be setting up for a big move. Here's why. I think people just hear that big move is to the upside. It's not what I mean. Big move means it could be a big move to the downside as well. So it's just saying that sort of there's a few indications here that there could be a big move gearing up, but I don't know which way it's going to go. Now let me tell you why. See this big pickup in volume here, right? So that's pretty interesting. At the same time, yeah, it's been, of course, because it's Nikola, slowly bleeding since that period. But at least in recent days, it's done a pretty good job pinning itself to the mid-range of the channel while it's putting in trigger candle after trigger candle on the TTM squeeze indicator. Also, like I said, relatively speaking, the volume is picked up, you know, compared to back here. And we are just a short skip and a jump away from earnings. So TTM squeeze indicator triggering while the price is pinned to the mid-range of the channel, with volume, generally speaking, higher than in the recent past, and the channel itself being quite compressed compared to previous periods of volatility. You know, those 5 factors, I guess, if you count the earnings thing, you know, those are a lot of factors that could amount to nothing, but are what's making me interested in the potential here for a really big move. Again, that move could come to the downside. Don't forget that. So we'll see if that even sort of takes shape, what that looks like, or if all of these indications and all of these, you know, supposed spotting of patterns just all go by the wayside based off of whatever is in the actual earnings call, and none of it mattered. We will know pretty soon. All right, folks, I hope that your trading week is off to a good start, and as always, I appreciate you watching, and I will see you in the next video.